Hey, welcome to the latest episode of the High Five Nonprofit Marketing Ideas. I'm Julie McDowell, marketing strategist for 5-1s. The High Five is my video series where I break down complex nonprofit and association marketing topics into just 5 things you need to know, all in 5-ish minutes. Today, I'm talking about inclusivity in all aspects of marketing. Okay, not all. I have left out web accessibility because I'm not a web developer. However, I know when you're in charge of marketing at a nonprofit or association, you're usually in charge of it all. So, I have a bunch of resources, including for web, at 5ones.com/accessibility. Diversity, equity, inclusion is getting more consideration than ever. Yay! And accessibility is very much a part of that. It's one way we celebrate and acknowledge our differences. Everyone communicates differently. So when you're creating content of any sort, it's important to consider being inclusive and making it accessible to all. Here are 5 areas of marketing to assess for these things with tips on how to improve your materials. And if you want to see the board in back of me that I crammed with more tips than I can give during this video, visit 5ones.com/accessibility for that too. Let's get into it. Number 1 is language. We're all guilty of speaking without thinking and using colloquial language that we don't realize may offend or unintentionally exclude someone. There are many great sources that discuss some of these terms. A few they mention are chairman, lady boss, blacklisting, psycho, and senior moment. Instead of using these words, try saying chair, boss, rejecting, unexpected, and not tech savvy. By using languages that include everyone, you can speak to everyone. Next are colors and fonts. Colors mean different things in different cultures, so it's important to do research on what that might mean in different contexts. For example, red means negative and green means positive in Western culture, while it's the opposite in Eastern culture. It's also important to consider contrasts. Light blue on a blue background likely isn't enough contrast for people with impaired vision, or if they are looking at it on a screen, in the sun, etc. Stick to higher contrast and check it with Adobe's contrast checker. Fonts are equally as important. Some cursive fonts, most, are hard to read, especially at smaller sizes. And make sure your fonts are responsive, so when someone zooms in or out, it changes with the image size. Next are images and icons. Almost all platforms, from email clients to social medias, allow for alternative text, or alt text, to be uploaded with a photo file. The alt text should explain the information the image contains, not just describe what the image looks like. For example, if it's an image of a tree for Earth Day, you could write, "A large tree symbolizes Earth Day." Aim for 1-sentence descriptions, but don't go over 2. Number 4 is email accessibility. Email is one of the best and most popular ways to communicate, so it's imperative to make it accessible for all readers. As much as an all-image email is visually attractive, avoid them as much as possible or ensure you're using alt text. Next, use text instead of tables so assistive readers can read the text aloud. Be thoughtful about design and formatting choices as well, considering the colors, fonts, and image recommendations I just mentioned. The layout should use left-aligned text, and copy should read left to right, then on to the next line. Write an informative subject line so people know what they're clicking on, and be as descriptive as possible in the body copy. Same goes for CTAs. If you're asking someone to click, let them know what they are clicking on. And last, I'm talking about social media. As one of the most popular ways to share content, social media can be a great tool, but it's important to use all the different functions that it offers in order to make it accessible for everyone. For example, use alt text on images here too. Caption all of your videos. Avoid too many emojis so voice to text isn't overloaded, and use high resolution imagery. This is just the tip of the iceberg. As a marketer, you need to be in the know about all things inclusivity and accessibility. So, I suggest diving deeper. Here is the 5ones blog post full of resources and links. 5ones.com/accessibility. Thanks for joining me for today's High Five Nonprofit Marketing Ideas. Have a question? Email me at julia@5ones.com or leave it in the comments below.